Hey guys, so I'm out here in the desert just 1 hour north of Ojai at DoubleBlind's first ever festival, where over 200 people have gathered to celebrate music, incredible food, self-care, yoga, meditation, you name it.
For being here, and thank you for supporting DoubleBlind. It's a beautiful thing, the way that this movement is growing and the way that people who deeply care about their own healing, the healing of others, the healing of the planet are coming together. And DoubleBlind is really just one small part of that. We're standing on the shoulders of giants. We're standing on the shoulders of the indigenous wisdom keepers who have been holding space for plant medicines and fungi for thousands of years. Of course, all the folks who are part of the original psychedelic renaissance going back to the 1950s, the researchers now, and I also want to lend credence to all the people who are fighting for the overturning of prohibition in ways other than putting psychedelics through the FDA approval process, which we're not against at DoubleBlind, but we just want to make sure that everybody who wants access to these medicines to heal has it. And everybody who wants to have access to these medicines to heal can do them in a context that makes them feel safe and supported. There's a lot of people in the world who are suffering, who want access to these plants, who don't know where to find them, or who know where to find them but don't have someone to trip sit for them, or want to go to the Amazon but don't know where to go, or don't have the money to fly to the Amazon and pay for a retreat that's more than $1,500. And so really that birthed the second pillar of our business, which is education. And it's about providing people with all the resources that they need to embark on a journey with plant medicines if that's something that they feel called to do. And I say if they feel called to do because psychedelics don't fix all of our problems. And anyone who's done a psychedelic knows that. They don't fix all our problems, and they're not for everybody. And if they are for you, oftentimes it's a lifelong journey. We brought together the most magical people in our network because we want to help you call in whatever it is that you want to call in your life. And whether that's friends, whether that's dancing, whether that's sitting alone in the desert, whether that's whatever that is. If at some point this weekend you go, you know what, these people are really cool and the desert's really cool, but I'm freaking exhausted and I want to go home, go home. Take care of yourself. So anyway, with that, we're going to go straight into some really beautiful Brazilian music by Fabiano Nascimento, I hope I pronounced that correctly. And then right after that, we're going to go into a totally epic, immersive soundscape experience with superposition. And at the same time, after that, there's also going to be DJs starting in the speakeasy, which is going till 3 a.m. So you can stay here and vibe out, or if at some point you decide you want to dance, the speakeasy is open. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
This beautiful tent has been home to our meditations, yoga classes, and sound healings for the weekend. Haley, what brings you out to this weekend's festival?
Yes, so I had a really transformative experience with psychedelics when I was much younger. It kind of changed my life, so here I am.
Beautiful. And what has your experience been like so far?
It's amazing. It's beautiful. The desert's beautiful. The energy from the land is beautiful. Everybody, the community. I'm really happy. Yeah, and I really love how small and intimate it is too.
And where are you coming from?
From San Francisco.
Oh my goddess, what brings you out?
I've been I've been a fan of DoubleBlind for like the last year because I was very interested in psychedelics and I had to do research about it. And then I saw that this was going on and I thought it was a very cool opportunity to meet some people that are into psychedelics and are like-minded and yeah, that was it.
What brings you here this weekend?
DoubleBlind, yeah. So, should I cuss or not? Awesome. Just the fact that I feel like DoubleBlind is leading this generation's psychedelic movement. Like straight up. And they're not like, oh, we're leading it and like if you're somebody else, you're not. Everyone's included. Doesn't matter what part or stage you're at. You're welcomed, and I think that that's the most touching part of it. And that's what like we're all searching for, and that's what we want. It's like love at the core of consciousness. So thank you. It's an honor to be here. Like it really is. And yeah, it's just I want to say like respect. When I met Max, I was like, oh, I'm like their like most secret best friend. I'm so proud of them. Where's Madison and where's Shelby? And I'm like, oh my God, they're doing great. I feel like I sensed them and their mission and their growth as we were in a pandemic. And now we get to be in person and experience that together.
Have you had a favorite activity that stood out for you?
I know what your favorite activity. We're doing his favorite activity.
Yeah, spending time in the pool has been great. Listening to the music has been great.
Yeah. I really liked the manifestation tools workshop today.
I did a workshop with my partner today. It was aligning with your manifestations through spiritual well-being. And we just broke down how we've come from a gang-banging drug life culture to now speaking in front of people, letting them know that you can come out of anything and literally be whatever you want to be. Yeah, it's been a beautiful event. I've had some beautiful conversations. I met some beautiful people. People actually were able to receive what I was saying, and that feels good to know that you're really impacting people. So it was a dope event.
As you can see, we've got the DoubleBlind kitchen behind us where they've been serving up 3 absolutely delicious and nutritious meals a day.
Everybody I talk to has said how much they love the size, the food, the vibe, the way that everybody is connecting. It's so nice to feel that it feels like everyone's friends already. I came alone, and I've seen so many others that have also come alone, and everyone just felt safe coming here already. That was the one word that I've been hearing is just I just felt like this would be a great place to go and meet people, and that's what it's been. I've met people. Okay, so one of the girls drove from Miami. She's been on a 24-day road trip. She's ending with this. A couple guys I just talked to are from Toronto, Canada. There's people from all over, and what I'm seeing is some people that work in psychedelics, some people that are just fans of psychedelics, some people that are just so connected to this movement and wanted to come together with like-minded people. So it's been a really cool mix. Some musicians, feels like a very artistic group of people in terms of their expression and just honestly to make friends. It definitely feels like people are here to connect with one another and to also not just have fun, but to have breathwork and yoga and connect with themselves. It was very emotional for many that in the breathwork, and it was just a beautiful way to start the day to connect with yourself, connect with your soul, because after that, that's when like the pure joy can come through, because you shed a couple layers, you cry a few tears, and you're like, I'm ready.
Right now, but
Wow,
you can do cut
hardly.
too,
You're
cut too.
a really beautiful spokesperson for your own brand. So. Oh, she loves
So good.
it. Oh, what made you want to collaborate with DoubleBlind and show up here this weekend?
Oh, we love DoubleBlind. I've been a huge fan of. I think actually DoubleBlind creates the best content in the psychedelic space. I've been a huge just fan, reader, fangirl of the brand for a really long time, and then I became friends with Shelby and started to learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing. And when we heard you guys are having a festival, we're like, obviously we have to bring our Super Mush buzz. And there's just so much synergy. Obviously, like both of our brands have a lot of life and color and inspiration from the 60s and 70s. So it just felt like a very obvious collab. You know, a lot of what we like to share with people is that humans evolved eating mushrooms. And then in the West, we took them out of our diet. So a lot of our mission and vision with Super Mush is to help people reintroduce them into their world in a really easy and fun and sexy and accessible way. So our first product is mouth sprays. So you get a high dose of functional mushrooms, which are incredible for everything. Overall anti-inflammatory, cognitive health, gut health, skin health, hair health. Mushrooms do a little bit of everything, and then each specific functional mushroom has a more specific function. So, lion's mane is the brain mushroom. Cordyceps is incredible for athletic performance and energy. And then, there's a whole slew of other functional mushrooms. And then there's psilocybin, which is, the psychoactive part of magic mushrooms. But they're both from the same kingdom. And so that's a lot of even what our purpose is with the brand. We do a lot of education and events in the psychedelic space as a part of like the larger company that we're a part of. The company's called Into the Multiverse. And we have a podcast. Shelby's been on our podcast. And a lot of what the vision is with any of our events and education is to really help people associate functional mushrooms and psilocybin from the same fungi ecosystem and just make mushrooms more accessible to everyone. We have brought our mushroom VW bus. We rent these buses from all over the country, and we have our custom fit magnets and just deck it out and make it really fun, Super Mush style. It's obviously very inspired by the 60s and 70s. It's our favorite era. The whole brand and the copy and the vibe was, even if you go read our website, the song lyrics and the titles of the 60s and 70s were super influential. And, when Shelby told me a little bit about the festival, we were like, we obviously have to come drive up our Super Mush bus and just to create something really fun and engaging for people. And it feels like a little bit of a period piece, like in the sense of we want it to feel like a snapshot from that era and all the things that we loved about it. And we weren't alive for it, but all the things that we think we loved about it, and just kind of like bring that energy to like such an awesome activation.
Yeah, so I'm here on a road trip, and I started this road trip back on June 1st. And I have been driving just myself in my little car, my Toyota Corolla, and it has been 25 days now that I've been doing this. I've been on the road camping, seeing friends, and making so many new friends along the way.
Beautiful. And did you decide to end up here on purpose at the DoubleBlind?
I did. So DoubleBlind is my final destination, my coup de grace last hurrah of this trip.
Beautiful. And what brings you out? What made you want to participate in this community?
Well, so I have been following DoubleBlind for a while now. I'm a huge fan, and my exposure to DoubleBlind, along with a lot of other readings and just knowledge, has really led me to I have a background in agriculture as well, and I've decided I really want to learn to grow mushrooms, and I figured what better way to learn to grow and start my own farm than interacting with the pros, the educators that are here at this festival.
We've had an artist live painting this mural of some beautiful psychedelic mushrooms behind me, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm here with East Forest, who's performing for us this evening. What makes you say yes to come to an environment or an event like this?
Well, DoubleBlind and this event is pushing boundaries forward. And a lot of the work I've been doing for 15 years is similar in that I'm sort of pushing up against cultural boundaries and societal boundaries and norms, and so I'm always interested in where that spirit tip is.
What is your own relationship with these medicines?
Profound in the sense that I don't think I would be sitting here if it wasn't for mushrooms, for sure, and other psychedelics. It's not something that is like that I imbibe in really that often, but I seem to be talking about it all the time.
The consciousness of it, the energy.
And the medicines, everything. I mean, it changed my life in a big way. I was a pretty tough nut to crack as a kid and a human, and the way I grew up, and very rational and reductionist, and I think I needed something that strong to believe. Like what I hope to do tonight, you always have to meet the moment in ceremonial context. Sometimes, sometimes it's not. It's more like, and what I mean is like a medicine space, and in that space, for me, the best thing to do is to improvise and to not feel like it's a performance and feel more like it's you're in service to whatever is wanting to come through for all of us, for the group, for me, and that's very different than your typical show where you kind of have your set and you practice it in that way, and it's more vulnerable and it's scarier, but it also feels like that's very much for the medicine space, and I think that's the best way to approach that kind of work. Music has always been in these spaces live by one person singing traditional songs, and I'm just trying to make my own songs, but these songs are coming up, they're being birthed in the moment, and I think there's a reason why that's maybe more salient to the people journeying than putting on there's many other reasons. I mean, it's also one artistic voice versus multiple artists, and I think that's better, and there's many other things, but yes, it's connected to the medicine for me, and it can be in a very direct way, and that's where my music was born 15 years ago, was guiding circles, psilocybin circles, and I was just trying to figure out what music works best, and so years of working with thousands of people, it's just like you just start to have a musical language, and I think with art is the only way to talk about the mystery and talk, because you can't speak about it. You can dance about it, you can paint about it, you can write songs about it. That's it. And so it's an endless song. So for me, the mushrooms are something I have incredible respect and reverence and gratitude for, and it's not something I claim to understand. I most definitely don't own it or anything like that. It's something that I'm in service to, and has given me so much in my life, and I just continue to dance with it. So it's a very alive space where the music's being born, and I don't know what that music will be, but it's always exciting. And then sometimes you go back and you listen to this, like my album Music for Mushrooms, or the In album, all those are from ceremonies, recorded live and improvised. So it's like I haven't ever played that music again, because I would have to listen to it and figure out what it is. I don't know, I'd be like, what is that, a C minor to a something, and I got to sit. Wow. It's hard to reverse engineer it. As humans, we're responsible for our will, not the fruits. It's like I need to practice to be fluent or all that kind of stuff. But whatever creativity is, I don't know. I don't know. That's the mystery. It's meant to be a mystery. It's a celebration of the human spirit. So.
It takes a good amount of bravery and maybe a little amount of crazy to do this. So let's get some snaps to those people. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
My favorite part of this festival has to be the people, the intimacy, the openness, and the connection that I'm experiencing here in this community being born right now is unparalleled and out of this world.